Somerset feels pretty nice. Baseball and hot dogs and refreshment on ice. Some days are early, some are night. He's always a bear man who plays cool for his life. He's the most reliable player in the game. Takes scores, so keep it. We'll have crossroad refreshment and tips and documentaries. Crossroad Coors Light, refreshing tea. Coors Brewing Company, Colorado.
A sizzling, succulent filet scrumptious savory twin-grilled pork chops. Getting hungry? Your table away to the Park City Grill, Fairfield County's elegant dining spot in beautifully renovated Bridgeport Holiday Inn. Comfortable, warm, and inviting, Park City Grill offers a world-class dining experience at reasonable prices. Come to the Park City Grill, 1070 Main Street in the Bridgeport Holiday Inn. Take I-95 exit 27A to exit 2. Plenty of free, secure parking.
The YP.com website is your local search engine. If you're looking for a good restaurant, it can help you find the right one nearby with ratings and reviews. Or if your car breaks down, you can use the YP app to find the closest repair shop. Or maybe you're just looking for something to do on a Friday night. Well, it has great local coupons for all sorts of things in your area. No matter what, when, or where, if you're looking for something, YP Local Search can help you find it. So go to YP.com or download the app. Search local, find local, and save it.
Miller Lite wants you to win the greatest weekend that never happened. The ultimate Vegas weekend for you and a buddy. Just collect Miller Lite taste points for your chance to win one of 100 Vegas trips being given away this summer for the big weekend. So grab Miller Lite and seize the summer at tastepoints.com. It's that easy, and it never happened. It's Miller time. No purchase necessary. Open to legal U.S. residents 21 or older. Void in California. Where permitted. Restrictions 5-1-12 and take 1-12. For details on winner and official rules for the tastepoints.com. Another brewing company in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Great beer, great responsibility. Miller time. Don't check your wrist or follow up with your supervisor. Because Miller time is nothing to do away and everything to do with you. Miller Lite is brewed for the guys who are proud to call your brothers. We'll always talk you up hitting that phone line. And never talk. Turn your backs around. You've got your brothers and the light beer that tastes like a beer shot. It's not just a pizza. It means Miller time. Miller time. It's around the world. Around you. Ones that become your brothers. Call to beers and time. I like when your foot is down to the test.
We welcome you to TD Bank Ballpark in Bridgewater, New Jersey for this feature of Bridgeport Bluefish Baseball on the Bluefish Broadcast Network. Perry Miles here, the Bluefish and the Somerset Patriots in Game 2 of this 3-game series, a morning affair heading into the afternoon. Hello, everyone. Last night, it was a strong performance by the Patriots. They won by a score of 7-2 last night, and it was all courtesy of their starting left-handed pitcher as Roy Merritt threw 7 innings of shutout baseball, allowing just 2 hits in total while striking out 5 Bluefish hitters. It was a stellar performance by the left-hander, and when I had an opportunity to talk with Toby Stoner afterwards, or even earlier today, when the Bluefish or here, going on the bus, he said he had never seen anybody, let alone him, perform at the level that he had. Remember, Merritt was at the AA level for a period of time and was with the New York Mets organization. And when Toby Stoner saw Roy Merritt pitch yesterday, it was the first time that he had seen the guy throw over the top. It perhaps is a new or a wrinkle that he's going to be using from here on out, both the over-the-top and the three-quarter delivery with the fastball. The Bluefish did lose 7-2 yesterday, got a couple of home runs in the ninth inning, courtesy of Joey Gathright shot to right field and Prentice Redmond's blast to left field. The Bluefish, they did give up quite a few runs early in the contest yesterday with Paulo Segura suffering the loss for Bridgeport. Today, it is Raymar Diaz, the player who won his first 6 decisions with the Fish last year and went 10-1 on the campaign, was second in wins to only Paulo Segura's 11 victories last year. Meanwhile, Paul Phillips goes to the hill. He features a 4-seam, a 2-seam, as well as a splitter and a slider. He will throw every one of those pitches for strikes, but most pitchers will only utilize 2 or even 3 pitches maximum in order to record the outs. It is Phillips against Diaz today from TD Bank Ballpark, an 11:05 scheduled first pitch from the state of New Jersey. When we come back on the Bluefish broadcast, we'll talk about the standings. We'll update you on that, as well as provide the fans with the starting lineup from each side today. A couple of changes from Somerset side. Not much change from Bridgeport's end, as Bridgeport and Somerset are about to take place. Bridgeport is yet to lose 2 in a row this season. They're hoping to avoid that same fate today and improve to 8-4 after this victory today. That's, of course, if they win Game 2 of the series. We'll be back right after this on BridgeportBluefish.com.
Celebrate the game. Celebrate the passion. Baseball is different. In a way, it's the history of the sport means so much. That's something we should never forget. Time that I visited, just like you with the whole did a great job. Celebrate the game. Celebrate the passion. Georgetown at baseball.org.
I think that since I played for what I did, it's not as hard to see it. I really go other buildings.
Celebrate the game. Celebrate the legacy.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to TD Bank Ballpark, the jewel of the Atlantic League.
Mike Piazza talks about the baseball hall of fame, its connection with the history of the game, its tradition of this game, how important this game is to the fabric of society. It's something I think is to my father, and I will always, and I'd love to teach my kids the history of baseball. And preserving history, honoring it, connecting generations. Connect with Georgetown at baseballhall.org.
To be honest, it's the same approach all the time. It's 290 down the line. For the most part, I try to keep the same.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to TD Bank Ballpark for today's ball game between the Bridgeport Bluefish and your Somerset Patriots. Our first pitch is scheduled for 11:05.
It's always going to play better the more that you are making things happen and making things work.
Fans, right now, we wonder if you want to win an autographed baseball. All you have to do is look at the video board for today's AT&T call of the game, then take out your wireless phone and vote for the chance to win an autographed baseball. Today's question, it's a good one for all you students. Who's your favorite cartoon character? If it's Bugs Bunny, text A to 74567. If it's text B to 74567. And if it's SpongeBob SquarePants, Text C 274-567. So text C and cell phones and text either A, B, or C 274-567. The results will be revealed later in the game. You'll get a text message if you are winning, and remember that message and data rate may apply.
Shark tooth, screwdriver, skeleton key, golf tee from the golf trip that you never went golfing on, grill fork, tuning fork, fork fork, the lucky fishing lure you snagged Alan with. Sorry, Alan. Drumsticks, chopsticks,
we're right outside of Gravy Sweat Cards.
a motel key.
And call out today's event. Starting line
These things make Miller Lite from
for visiting Bridgeport
Find out.
Bluefish.
2012. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Great beer, great responsibility.
Leading off number 5, the designated hitter, Jody Gathright. Batting second in left field, number 17, Kennard Jones. Hitting third, number 27, the right fielder, Prentice Redman. Batting cleanup, the center fielder, number 8, Colin Balloon. Batting fifth, number 3, at third base, Ramon Vasquez. Batting sixth, the first baseman, number 23, Brock Peterson. Hitting seventh, number 9, catcher Luis Rodriguez. Batting eighth, the second baseman, number 4, Pedro Lopez. And batting ninth, number 1, shortstop Eddie Rogers. Who is today's designated team man if he strikes out any time today? All fans in the Lucky section will get $5 off.
We welcome you back to the Bluefish broadcast. Barry Miles here. The Bluefish and the Patriots about 15 minutes away from first pitch at TD Bank Ballpark for this matinee affair. Bridgeport coming into today with a record of 12-6 this season. They have won 7 of the first 11 games on this current road trip, and they're hoping that they can come up with wins 8 and 9 against Somerset. Win all 4 series. So far, the only series that they have not won was the first one of the season against the Camden River Sharks, which the teams split 4 games. Meanwhile, the Long Island Ducks are tied with Bridgeport in the standings. Southern Maryland at 8 and 10. They're 4 games behind the pace set by Bridgeport and Long Island. Camden at 5 behind after they have lost 3 consecutive games. In the Freedom Division, the Somerset Patriots are in second place after winning last night, but only because Lancaster has won 4 consecutive and maintained their 1-game advantage in the race for the Freedom Division supremacy. The York Revolution, 6 wins and 11 losses. They just lost again last night. As the 2-time champion Revolution have been struggling throughout the season. In Sugarland, they came up with a big victory yesterday against Long Island to prevent themselves from going 6.5 behind the pace of the Lancaster Barnstormers. It's going to be quite a difficult run for any team this year, especially with the competition continuing to improve in the Atlantic League and the quality of play continuing. Think about this. Somerset was 49-74 last season, experiencing their first losing season in their previous 12 of not having a losing season. So go figure that, as Somerset hopes to turn its season around from 2011 to 2012, getting off to a solid start early with 10 wins and 8 losses, although they are worse than 1 team in their division and 3 teams overall in the Atlantic League, as several of the people for the Patriots are introduced, including Sparky, the mascot for the Patriots, the Somerset squad down the right field line, the Bluefish team down the left field line, as they are getting ready for the ball game. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for each side. Joey Gathright is the designated hitter. He'll lead off. Kennard Jones is in left field, batting second. Well, Prentice Redmond, that's third and plays right. Colin DeLome is the center fielder. He bats fourth. He had an 11-game hit streak snapped yesterday with an 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Let's not forget about Kennard Jones, who had the team's longest on-base streak, and his was also snapped yesterday. He had one dating back to opening day of the season And I believe that was 16 games rather. And during that streak, he had 386. Prentice Redmond just behind him at 15 games in a row as he's playing right field today. Ramon Vasquez is the third baseman, batting 5th, while Brock Peterson is the first baseman, batting 6th. Luis Rodriguez Machete is batting 7th. Pedro Lopez, the second baseman, bats 8th, and Eddie Rogers rounds out the rotation. The Bluefish had a combination of 4 hits yesterday, 2 solo drives against Kwinowski in the 9th inning, and also 2 hits from Luis Rodriguez. Homers from Gathright and Redmond account for the only other hits of the day. 4 hits and 2 runs scored against Somerset. They're hoping to do better today, both with the offense and with the man on the mound, Raymar Diaz. Right-handed pitcher, has no wins, and has picked up a loss with an ERA of 15. But last year, he did extraordinary work for the Bluefish, going 10-1, winning his first 6 decisions, and the only player that had a better start to his Bluefish career during that period of time, Alan Mahaffey, and he also was one of the better pitchers in the history of Bluefish baseball as Raymar Diaz heads to the hill for another start for the Fish, his 15th of his Bluefish career in his 16th appearance overall. Paul Phillips goes to the mound for the Somerset Patriots. He has played in affiliated baseball before, and he's pitched quite well with this organization to this point. 2 wins, no losses, an ERA of 2.08. And in his career, he has mostly come out of the bullpen. Just 5 starts entering this year in his professional life, in his number of seasons in Major League Farm System teams. 9th round pick by the Blue Jays back in 2005, and his first start of the year went 5 1/3 innings. He has not gone fewer than 5 innings in any of his starts, including a contest against Sugarland where he picked up a win. He has won his last 2 starts this season as Paul Phillips heads to the hill, featuring a 4-seam, 2-seam, a slider, and also a splitter. Johnny Tucker leads off for the Patriots. He plays center field. Freddie Bynum is the second baseman, batting second. Freddie Sandoval, who came up with a big day yesterday, a few doubles, he bats third and plays first. Jesse Horlbeck is the designated hitter, and he is cleaning up. Aaron Matthews, who also scolded the baseball yesterday against Mr. Oseguera, he bats 5th and plays left field. Jeff Nettles is the third baseman, batting 6th. Johnny Drenner moves up 1 spot in the order, batting 7th, while Lou Santangelo takes the place of Adam Donahue. He bats 8th and is playing behind home plate. Rex Rundgren is batting 9th for the Patriots. And by the way, an interesting stat just to note, Bridgeport is 7-2 when the first batter of the contest does not reach base for their opposition. So if Johnny Tucker gets on base, in all likelihood the Bluefish have not done as well as what they would have had the first baseman or the first batter of the game had not reached base. 7-2 with the runner not reaching base, 5-4 with, and yesterday Johnny Tucker did not reach. It was only the second loss of the year for Bridgeport in that regard. Bridgeport and Somerset coming up from TD Bank Ballpark in Bridgewater. I am Perry Miles. We'll be right back after this on BridgeportBluefish.com.
Senate Grill Team, Saturday, 20 pork chops. Getting hungry? Your table away to the Park City Grill, Fairfield County's elegant dining spot in the beautifully renovated Bridgeport Holiday Inn. Comfortable, warm, and inviting, Park City Grill offers a world-class dining experience at reasonable prices. Come to the Park City Grill, 1070 Main Street in the Bridgeport Holiday Inn. Take I-95 exit 27A to exit 2. Plenty of free, secure parking.
The YP.com website is your local search engine. If you're looking for a good restaurant, it can help you find the right one nearby with ratings and reviews. Or if your car breaks down, you can use the YP app to find the closest repair shop. Or maybe you're just looking for something to do on a Friday night. Well, it has great local coupons for all sorts of things in your area. No matter what, when, or where. If you're looking for something, YP Local Search can help you find it. So go to YP.com or download the app. Search local, find local. I say Miller Lite wants you to win the greatest weekend that never happened. The ultimate Vegas weekend for you and a buddy. Just collect Miller Lite taste points for your chance to win one of 100 Vegas trips being given away this summer for the big weekend. So grab Miller Lite and seize the summer at tastepoints.com. It's that easy, and it never happened. It's Miller time. No purchase necessary. Open to legal U.S. residents, 21 or older, void in California, and where prohibited. Sweepstakes begins 5/1/12 and ends 8/1/12. For details on the winner and complete official rules, go to tastepoints.com. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Great beer, great responsibility. Miller time. Never check your best. Because Miller time has nothing to do with play and everything to do with Miller. Miller Lite is creating your guys in front of all your brothers. Let's talk about it. Never talk. During your back swing, you got your brothers in the light beer that tastes like Miller. It's Miller time. Miller time. One take the filter brothers, cultivators, and life here breaks down to the ties again. The family life fall from the table. Why not have it? Back together. Just a few choice words spoken to the right place. I'll create a life here to the right place. Because it's not just really time, it's never time. Entitled Coors Light Summer. It's a Coors Light Summer, hot days all around. Backyard barbecues are ready to be found. It's the style. It'll be alright. Somerset. Filled with ice cold Coors Light. You step outside.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the field, yours is the Patriots. Joining the Patriots on the field today as your domination baseball buddies, holiday hand for Columbia Middle School.
There's only one thing baseball fans love as much as great Pilsner takes, and that's rooting for the home team.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask everyone please rise.
Away is not where the heart is. Bringing a way to make it. Why?
And please remember to do your hat.
By your underpinnings. So why root for the away?
Ladies and gentlemen, Jack McDade was Dick Clark's very first musical guest back in 1956. He has performed the national anthem for the Patriots for the past 5 years. To honor America with the singing of our national anthem, Jack McDade. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
An excellent rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner performed from behind home plate as we are ready for morning and matinee baseball here from TD Bank Ballpark in Bridgewater, New Jersey. Let's take a quick look who is going to be around the bases. The umpiring crew includes Mark Facto at first base. James Pattison is occupying third base. And Mr. Whitey, Danny Whitey, moves behind home plate. He'll be calling the balls and strikes today for right-handed pitcher Paul Phillips and his counterpart Raymar Diaz for the Bridgeport Bluefish. This season, Paul Phillips has been very solid. Similar numbers to that of Roy Merritt, except he's coming from the right side, and he throws quite well. Upper 80s, lower 90s fastball, and will mix in that split finger, and on occasion, Phillips has been known to throw with much more velocity than the low 91, 92 miles per hour, more like the 93, 94 mile per hour range. Last time he was in affiliated baseball was with Durham and the Montgomery Biscuits, the Durham Bulls, AAA affiliate and AA affiliates of the Tampa Bay Rays. 3-5 record last year, an ERA of 5.90, and only one start to talk about for the right-handed pitcher who is hoping to get back to big league baseball, or at least get back to the affiliated ranks. He's never been to the big leagues, as Joey Gathright is about to step up to the plate. He's followed by Kennard Jones, and then Prentice Redmond. 1, 2, 3 in the lineup. Aaron Matthews is out in left field. Johnny Tucker is in center. Johnny Drenner in right field. Nettles, Rundgren, Bynum, and Sandoval around from left to right on the infield. And Lou Santangelo is the battery mate for Paul Phillips. We are underway. Gathright at 282 on the year. He scored 17 runs in the first 18 games, which is an astounding number considering just a few years ago, Scott Grimes, who won the co-MVP award in the Atlantic League, wound up with 139 runs, scored. The first pitch is over the outside corner, 0-1. The difference was that Grimes did it in many fewer games than what Gathright is participating. He's played almost every day for the Bluefish. The 282 hitter steps up, the 0-1 on its way. Fastball rotates inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. You have Gathright, Jones, Redmond. No Luis Lopez today. Ramon Vasquez takes his place. There are going to be times when the Bluefish are going to give the veteran third baseman a chance to recuperate. The 1-1 is swung over the top and missed. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We mentioned during the pregame show he has a 4-seam, a 2-seam, a slider, and a split that appeared to be the splitter. Nothing too soft from Phillips, and you wonder whether he'll be able to manipulate speeds along with locations. The split deemed to go down. The 4-seam fastball tends to be a riser. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Right-hander set. He delivers. Fastball inside. The count runs to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Today it's Raymar Diaz and Paul Phillips. The final game of the road trip for Bridgeport, Isaac Hess against Doug Arguello. Lefties tomorrow. Today, it's righties. 2-2 is chopped on the ground to the right side. The second baseman, Freddie Bynum, charges in, delivers to first, one away. It is a boisterous crowd on Kids Day at the ballpark. TD Bank Ballpark. Many kids just in front of the broadcast booth. Many of them are also occupying the right set of seats. Not too many fans over to the left side, but I'm sure they will make their way inside the ballpark as the game progresses. Much testing is going on this week in the New Jersey State schools, which is some of the reason why some of the kids have not shown up today, as the pitch is lifted foul to the left. Many of the teams try to schedule around the testing so that way the kids can focus on having their field trip and enjoying themselves at the ballpark on a day out on a hot and humid day in central New Jersey. The 0-1 to Kennard Jones bends inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. He's at 365 on the year. Left fielder at 6 feet 1 inches tall, is the son-in-law of Tony Gwynn, the Hall of Fame hitter, as the next pitch is slapped into left field. A base hit for Jones. He gets on with a leadoff single. It sets up Prentice Redmond. The Bluefish were unable to really get much going against left-hander yesterday in Roy Merritt. But today it has been different. They get a base hit in the first inning. Last time up, it was an error that the Bluefish reached on as Prentice Redmond steps forward. Redmond, a right-handed batter against the righty. Glove is set. Jones with a decent-sized lead. He throws the ball and it's low. 1 ball and no strikes. Kennard Jones has gotten caught stealing a few times this year. 5 steals, 4 caught. As the 1-0 is on its way to Redmond. Stepping off the rubber, Paul Phillips. Timeout was called as Kennard Jones appears to be bending for a moment. Cannot tell what he was doing. Perhaps he had some of his garb, some of his shin guard attire, or perhaps one of the pieces of equipment he uses when he comes to the plate. He gave it to Dan Lassard, the first base coach, as the pitch swerves inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Left field wrong, plenty of trees, Interstate 287 in the distance. 287 spans out to center field. That interstate highway goes to the Catskill Mountains and runs right through to Staten Island and eventually to Brooklyn with the Outer Bridge crossing. The 2-0 is right down the middle, 2-1. The scenery down the right field line, plenty of trees, a railroad passing by Somerset and Bridgewater, New Jersey. This is Somerset County after all. 2 balls and 1 strike. Redmond at 3:06 this season as another throw to first is not in time. He came up with a solo drive yesterday. Him and Gathright toward the end of the contest against Kwinowski. But Kwinowski has been struggling dearly with the pass. 2-1, elbows down, pitch on its way, fastball on way. 3-1. We'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to the Bluefish broadcast today. Perry Miles here. It has been a wonderful few days here in Bridgewater, especially considering the weather has been warm, comfortable for the players to perform, comfortable for myself as well, as a 3-1 is spoiled to the netting, 3-2. Redmond just missed it, as he slightly was fooled. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Redmond out of St. Louis, Missouri. Missouri makes his home now. A couple of times did test positive back in affiliated baseballs. A 3-2 throw to first is not in time. But he has served his suspension, and now he's back playing baseball, and he continues to hit well. In AAA with the Fresno Grizzlies, batted .298 with double-digit home runs and plenty of RBI before the suspension took place, as another throw over to first is not in time. Pacific Coast League and the California League are considered similar leagues in the sense that the ERAs are very high because the ball carries far in some of those locales. The runner goes and the pitch is stroked foul up top. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The California League, the ball jumps all over the arm. If you think about Colorado Springs, a place that is high in altitude, Reno, which is another place high in altitude, Tucson, which, well, now it's certainly high in altitude, but it's much warmer down there. The ball flies. 3-2, but first a throw to first, not in time. And there are other locations in the Pacific Coast League that warrant home run hitters and invite home run hitters to continue to flourish. Bridgeport has certainly had a few of those players go through the PCL. The 3-2 was grounded foul to the third base side. Willie Upshaw had to jump out of the way as he's in the coach's box, 3-2. Runner at first base, no score, top of the first inning. 1 man out. And Prentice Redmond yesterday at 1 for 4. Only 3 players with hits yesterday for the Bluefish. Meanwhile, the hits were kept on coming from Somerset. 3-2, glove set, runner goes, pitches, grounded foul on a pull job down the left side. 3 balls and 2 strikes. In victories for Bridgeport, they have mashed. They have scored more than 8 runs a game. In losses, they have scored less than 2. Simple math. Yes, the pitching has been significantly better in wins, but the Bluefish do not pitch or perform well in general. Whenever they lose the ball game, the next one is swung on and fouled back. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The run differential from what they score is more than 6 per game, and the run differential in the pitching is more than 2.5 per contest. So they allow 2.5 more runs in their losses. They always seem to get killed whenever they lose ball games. 3-2 throw to first is not in time. And if you want to look at couple of cases. Some of them may not appear to be such games out of reach. 9-0, 6-0 games earlier, but Bluefish had their opportunities, just could not hit. Runner goes, a 3-2 Swan, and missed the throw to second. Not in time, as Kennard Jones slid into the bag, got off it for a moment, but then used his hand to swipe at the bag, make sure he stayed on. It's a strikeout for Prentice Redmond, but Kennard Jones moves over to second base for Colin DeLome.
Trying to clean up the break, the center fielder, Colin DeLome.
11-game hitting streak after going 0-for-1 in a pinch hit role his first game as a member of the Fish. DeLome, former AAA guy with Round Rock, who had an affiliation change between the Houston Astros and the Texas Rangers. Now Round Rock is with Texas. The fastball flows to the inside corner, 0-1. But Colin DeLome is a Texas native. He would have loved to have played for either one of those teams, but have you ever looked at the Rangers' outfield combination lately? The 0-1 is grounded foul to the right side, no balls, and 2 strikes. You look at the likes of Josh Hamilton in the outfield and a pair of outfielders that the Rangers have either signed or proved themselves. Very difficult to find a spot in that position, not to mention Texas, more versatile with a designated hitter. Same story could be made for Casey Benjamin for Southern Maryland as the pitch rotates inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes before Benjamin went to the Mexican League. Benjamin was a very good player in the Texas system, but Elvis Andrews and Michael Young, Adrian Beltre, and of course Ian Kinsler had more clout. Pitches popped up foul down the left side. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Who knows? Maybe Benjamin could have made his way through to the big leagues through the Kansas City Royals or the Pittsburgh Pirates. Boy, they could use a few hitters. What about the Houston Astros? The 1-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Appeared to be a high fastball that DeLome swung through. The Bluefish are out in the first. No runs. 1 base hit. A runner left on in scoring position at the end of a half. No score for Bridgewater. You're listening to Bluefish Baseball on BridgeportBluefish.com.
With the largest fleet and the greatest variety, those advertisement partners everywhere wrapped up, and they're always nearby, with more than 150 locations in New Jersey. Visit us at Enterprise.com or call 1-800-RENT-A-CAR today. Hit Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Come to the Park City Grill, 1070 Main Street in the Bridgeport Holiday Inn. Take I-95 exit 27 and 82 exit 2. Plenty of free secure.
Website is your local search engine. If you're looking for a good restaurant, again, never happened. The ultimate biggest weekend for you and a buddy. Just collect Miller Lite taste points for your chance to win one of 100 biggest trips given away this summer through the weekend. So grab Miller Lite and seize the summer at tastepoints.com. It's that easy. And never happened. It's Miller time. No purchase necessary. All times legal U.S. residents 21 or older. 40 California and work requirements. Restrictions 512. Details on Twitter. Official rules go to tastepoints.com. Another compelling and more U.S. nuts and great beer for responsibility.
Let's start. Let's go. Free. Everybody clap your hands.
It has become a wild crowd at TD Bank Ballpark in Bridgewater for this day game between the Bluefish and the Patriots. Bottom of the first inning coming up with Johnny Tucker leading off. He's followed by Freddie Bynum and Freddie Sandoval. Let's quickly get through the Bluefish rotation around the infield. Ramon Vasquez, Eddie Rogers, Pedro Lopez, and Brock Peterson. From left to right on the infield, Luis Rodriguez is behind home plate for Raymar Diaz. Let's not forget about Kennard Jones, Colin DeLome, and Prentice Redmond from left to right in the outfield. Raymar Diaz features a fastball. He's also got a changeup and a slider. The next pitch is low. We are underway with the Bluefish pitching in the bottom half of the first. No score from Bridgewater. Hit in the first inning by the Bluefish. Johnny Tucker against this contest picked up a couple of hits. And the next 1 strike. Tucker, center field. A pitch taker than anything else, and will work the counts. He's at 3:45 as the pitch is sky in the air, foul behind home plate out of. The fans are motivated. The Patriots, they've won the championship 5 times. They're hoping to get back to glory this year. They're 1-2, well outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bridgeport has not supported a championship. Has had a championship since 1999. And they're hoping to get back to the Atlantic League Championship Series and potentially win it all this year as well. The 2-2 is scooped up since last championship came in 2009. 2008 lost the York Revolution, who wound up winning the 50 playoffs entirely. Sport surpassed the 3-2 is upstairs for ball 4, and Johnny Tucker leads off. Beats to York in this round, win the championship, and then last record making to the postseason, the play-in game elimination, courtesy of the Southern Maryland Blue Crab. It was a formidable bunch led by Long Island, who wound up making it to the finals last year, only to lose to the Revolution. The pitch is ripped into right field as another base hit for Somerset. They always seem to get off to a hot start. Second straight day with a leadoff hit from Freddie Bynum to open up his game as Johnny Tucker moves over to second base. So Tucker gets a walk, a single to right field by Bynum to set up Freddie Sandoval, who the Bluefish could not really get out yesterday. A couple of doubles towards right and right center field. Double and run scored in the 3rd inning. He scored and walked in the 1st. Doubled and scored in the 7th. He did have 1 RBI yesterday as the powerful left-handed hitter may be on his way back. Diaz deals. The bunt attempt is chopped up the right side, but it dribbles foul as it may have been a pitch of grass, a divot to drift the ball further towards the right of the chalk. 0-1 the count.
Tickets to Kids Club games, Kids Club merchandise, and all new Kids Club cash. Be sure to stop by the Kids on Deck circle behind the press box, smile at Dana, and fill out an application to become a slugger today. And you take a picture with Sparky. It's a Patriots Commercial based on specialized hospital for their sport. 2010 Somerset Patriots Kids Club.
We do apologize for any technical difficulties that we may have been encountering. The first pitch is swung on and missed in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Bridgeport in this game, or at least in the last inning, had a strikeout, a fly ball to right, and another fly ball to right as Diaz uncorks an off-speed pitch inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. The game is scoreless in the bottom half of inning number 5. It is Rundgren, Johnny Tucker, and Freddie Bynum. Raymar Diaz continues to control matters for Bridgeport at the mound. The next pitch surfaces inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. It is a very hot and humid day at the ballpark. We hope everything is going or ready to go for the Bluefish. Pitch is ground right to first, handled by Peterson. He scampers to the bag, one way. So counts as a 3 unassisted for Rundgren. We'll try to address any issues that we might be having on the Bluefish broadcast as we continue to work our way through the ball game. Bridgeport and Somerset in game number 2 of this series. No score, just 3 hits for the Fish, 2 hits for Somerset, 1 error made by the Bluefish courtesy of Brock Peterson, but Somerset could not exploit that opportunity. The first pitch to Tucker is outside, 1 ball and no strikes. For more information about Bluefish baseball, you go to the website, BridgeportBluefish.com. As the next pitch is skied in the air, foul. Behind home plate to the left, out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. And it appears to be a nice grab to the left side. The 1-1 from Diaz. Lands outside but misses. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bridgeport had a couple of base runners in scoring position in this game. More for Somerset. Neither team has gotten on the board. 2-1. Way inside as Tucker had to duck out of the way. 3-1. For more information about Bluefish baseball, you go to BridgeportBluefish.com. If you want to purchase tickets for the weekend against Sugarland, the post-Mother's Day celebration, photo giveaway as well, the team photo giveaway as Tucker walks on a fastball inside for ball 4. 3rd consecutive walk for Tucker, and eventually Diaz may not be able to get out of these certain jams. He's already walked the leadoff hitter Tucker 3 times, and that usually presents troubles. And when I had an opportunity to talk with Jeff Scott, he mentioned many times when batters start off innings with a walk rather than a hit, there's a bigger tendency for the pitcher to give up runs that inning with a leadoff walk as opposed to the leadoff hit because of the mental capabilities of these hitters. The pitcher never gave himself a chance to be able to record the out. In this case, Diaz tried to fire the ball over the plate but was unsuccessful in doing so. And he tried to give himself a shot, but Tucker's been that much more patient. The plate, he taking a large lead. He's at the cutoff of the grass. His other throw to first is not in time. One man out. Bottom half of the 5th inning. Plenty of kids out. They will be trying to meet their bus times as well. Their bus schedules. The fastball leans high. 1 ball and no strikes. And they will also try to get as much of the ball game in as possible for the fans to watch. But, of course, as everyone knows, baseball, more of a strategic, more of a mental approach than physical. That's how you become successful as a pro. The one who is high, 2 balls, no strikes. The mental approach is sometimes more important than the physical, although it does not hurt to be the specimen that Barry Bonds or Manny Ramirez, or if you want to talk about guys these days, the specimen that Josh Hamilton is. The confidence just oozes from their body. The 2-0 from Diaz. Leans forward and deals. Pitches fouled off to the left. 2 balls and 1 strike. And once a player continues to improve in big league baseball, once they reach their potential, their once known status at the AAA level, they could pretty much dominate at the AAA level if they played over the course of a season. Perhaps 400 batting average. Perhaps at 50 home runs. Some of the guys, of course. Adrian Gonzalez projected at 50 for the Red Sox. Last year, he didn't quite hit that mark. But if you were facing AAA pitching, it might be different. The 2-1 is grounded to the right side and through for a base hit by Pedro Lopez as Redmond charges and holds Johnny Tucker at second base. Runners at first and second for the Patriots with 1 man out to set up Freddie Sandoval. For more information on Bluefish baseball, you can go to the website. You can also send me an email if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the Bluefish broadcast. As we try to reach out to all of the fans out there. BridgeportBluefish.com, PerryM86@gmail.com, or PMiles@BridgeportBluefish.com. Next batter, Sandoval, 0-for-2 today. Steps up to the plate, fielder's choice victim in the first 3-6 and a E3 as he reached. The one-out pitch is grounded. Fair ball down the first baseline. That will score Tucker on his way to third bunt, and he's being waved home. There appears to be no throw to home. The throw comes into third, and it goes up the third base line as Kennard Jones is able to recover, but not before Freddie Sandoval knocks a two-run triple to right field. Somerset with a 2-0 lead.
Patriots precision win the game.
Boy, with the way that Somerset is pitching, Diaz could not afford to give up that opportunity. It all started with a one-out walk from Tucker. Eventually, he paid the price. He paid the price because he left the pitch middle in to a left-handed hitter. And that almost is a no-no in baseball. The first offering coming up to Jesse Horlbeck, who is 1 for 6 in the series. Diaz unwinds, and the pitch is outside. Counted 1 ball and no strikes. Thank everybody for tuning in on the Bluefish broadcast here. Harry Miles, 2-0 on a 2-run triple by Sandoval to right field. That accounts for all the scoring today as the pitch is right inside, 2-0. The trivia question for today: which member of the Bluefish with a minimum of 40 at-bats had the highest batting average against the Patriots last year? If you answer the question correctly, there is a prize awarded to that particular fan. Pitch dives outside. 3 balls and no strikes. Diaz may not be as concerned about Horlbeck because he has 2 bases open. At some point, he's going to perhaps have to have a double play turned in order to prevent that third run from coming to the plate. And that third run may be huge. Paul Phillips just a dominant pitch. Fastball upstairs, ball 4. So perhaps the Bluefish strategy was to pitch around Jesse Horlbeck, even though he's had limited success in this series, and try to draw the twin killing from Aaron Matthews, as the Bluefish have a few pitchers warming up down the left field line. One of them appears to be Joe Bateman, the right-handed sidewinder for the Fish, as Willie Upshaw makes his way to the mound. The big stat, the telling stat for the Bluefish: in victories, the team has scored more than 8 runs a game, but in losses, they have scored less than 2 per night. And that tells you all you need to know about how well the Bluefish offense has performed. And it's when they're able to jump on some of these hurlers that they're able to excel. The pitching has also been significantly better in the victories. They've allowed less than 5 runs per in games that they have won. They've allowed 7 1/3 runs in the losses. And another good indicator for Bridgeport's success perhaps is their ability to get the leadoff hitter out. Whenever the leadoff hitter reaches base. Bridgeport 5 wins and 4 losses. Bridgeport just picked up their 2nd loss of the year when the leadoff hitter did not get on base the first time up at the plate. Today, Johnny Tucker walked to lead off the game, and perhaps the number of pitches he saw and eventually Freddie Bynum saw led to that kind of success later on for Somerset. The first pitch lands high after the conversation is over. 1 ball, no strikes. Raymar Diaz, righty against the righty Matthews. So far, ground out to the mound and a pop fly to first. 1-0. Swung on and missed. It appeared to be a changeup inside. May have even broke a little bit. 1 ball and 1 strike. TD Bank Ballpark in Bridgewater, New Jersey. We'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to today's broadcast. Harry Miles here. as Bridgeport trails by a couple, runners at the corners. 1-1. Basketball travels high and away. And the count at 2 balls, 1 strike. Bridgeport in their teal uniforms. Somerset in their home whites, Patriot logo in calligraphy across the chest. The 2-1 is grounded sharply past third into left field for a base hit. Vasquez lunged for it, could not get there. It's an RBI single for Aaron Matthews. And Somerset has pushed 3 across in the 5th to take a 3-0 lead. As Joe Bateman continues to warm up down the left field line. This may be his final batter of the game. Jeff Nettles, Johnny Treadle moving in, and Willie Upshaw hoping that Diaz does not allow any more runs to score in this frame as Ramon Vasquez slowly walks to the mound. Perhaps a stall tactic for Willie Upshaw indicated from the dugout. Bridgeport has not scored much in this series, just 2 runs in the first 14 frames for the Bridgeport offense. And you wonder if maybe a bunt or a bunting might help. Somerset's defense has played solidly out there, as Willie Upshaw says that's enough. He's not going to be facing Jeff Nettles in his 3rd at-bat. This call to the bullpen, presented by Prudential Annuities. Prudential Annuities going to bat for our community. 1 out. Bottom of the 5th inning. Raymar Diaz's day is through as Joe Bateman makes his way from the bullpen. We'll be right back after this on BridgeportBluefish.com.
Hey, this is Jim Brewer. Okay, Patriots fans, when I yell Somerset, you yell Patriots. Somerset! You see 287 over there? I want the traffic stopped. I want people going, doing that over there. Are you ready? Are you sure? Somerset! Hey, this is Jim Brewer. Okay.
That's why each year, I'm with the commitment to helping charity causes our food by engineering prevention resources. I'm making sure the ladies and pockets and help others volunteer. From conducting programs and to support health awareness and food banks. Prudential Insurance Company, New Jersey, it's affiliated to Prudential Insurance Business and Prudential Future. How's that?
This call to the bullpen presented by Prudential Annuities. Prudential Annuities going to bat for our community. Joe Bateman is on the hill for Bridgeport. Diaz's final line incomplete because the runners at first and second base are his responsibility. But one thing that we do know is that he lasted 4 1/3 innings. He's allowed 5 hits, and he has also walked 4 batters, which includes 3 against Mr. Tucker, who just scored a couple months ago. He can lose it. Diaz just struck out 1 batter with Joe Bateman right-handed. They gave up 1 2/3 loss, and here I am. Joe Bateman moves forward with Jeff Nettles stepping up to the box. Bateman is able to induce double play baseball. First season in the Atlantic League, and last year time with Sacramento AAA and AA Midland for the Athletics. He was also on the Rays AAA affiliate in Durham. 9-1 ERA, 60 strikeouts, 73, and 1/3 innings tossed last year for the right-hander. He settles with the glove at the chest, throwing 1-out toss. Fastball inside as Nettles had to jut behind him. 1 ball, no strikes. He moved his shoulders back while his stomach was moving forward. Nettles today 0 for 2. Ground ball to third base in the second. Ground ball to short in the fourth. 3 runs scored by the Pats in the 5th inning. The next offering twists to the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's going to be much more difficult to compete against the Patriots this time around. Bridgeport having trouble scoring runs, and Somerset seems to be breaking through with the philosophy of getting on base and then eventually driving those runs home. As that pitch is yanked, foul down the left field line, twists out well out of play, 1-2. And so far, Somerset seems to be ready to handle a task. The Patriots lost 3 times, have looked in this series beyond me. Perhaps the shorter dimensions of the ballpark would be what, or pitchers to be failing a little more. The 1-2 is a frisbee pitch outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ask any of the Bluefish players how successful the team has been over the last few years in York. In that kind of time for Bridgeport. The 2-2 on its way. In there, strike 3 on a heater. Nettles disgusted with the call, but he must go back to the batter's box and eventually to the dugout as Johnny Drenner makes his way into the box. Johnny Drenner, right fielder, has a single in his last at-bat. Game started at 11:05. It's 12:37 Eastern. A little bit more than an hour and a half gone by in this ball game. Bridgeport and Somerset competing today. 2-out toss on its way from the right-hander. Fastball glides outside. 1 ball and no strikes. The heat and the humidity may not be allowing the Bluefish to warm up a bit as the pitch is fouled off to the left, and it's causing a couple of problems in the ballpark. People are trying to stay hydrated at this point. One ball, 1 strike. Righty-lefty matchup with Johnny Drennan. Bateman is set. At first, he decides to recoil, think over the pitch sequence. Now he calls Louis Rodriguez out. One ball, 1 strike, 2 men out. Hoping to bring the Bluefish fans back to the broadcast at some point. It is an early game, so many people are at work today, unlike the night games when people would be able to tune in quite frequently. The 1-1 tails to the outside corner, a ball and 2 strikes. Think about when Bridgeport goes to Houston, Texas in the middle of July. That is going to be one drip fest between the sweat, the heat, the humidity, everything that's involved. No one's talking about tropical systems either. The 1-2, swung on and missed. Strike 3, 2 consecutive punch-outs for Bateman to keep the score at 3, but 3 runs do come to the plate on 4 base hits. The Patriots leave 2 runners on. At the end of 5, Bridgeport trails 3-0. You're listening to Bluefish Baseball on BridgeportBluefish.com.
For a different chip. If you're behind home plate, you're going to cheer for the red internet chip. on the third base side, you're going to be cheering for the white TV. And on first base side, you're cheering for the black base. All right, there we go. They're racing through some of their first one to get home. Your section will get some frisbees thrown into it. So again, red behind the plate, white third base, and black first base. White has the lead this point, but black and red checks it out. And the home stretch, and the winner is the white chip. That means third base side, we're going to be throwing some frisbees your way.
Lucky.com website is your local search engine. If you're looking for a good restaurant, it can help you find the right one nearby with ratings and reviews. Or if your car breaks down, you can use the Lucky app to find the closest repair shop. Or maybe you're just looking for something to do on a Friday night. Well, if you wait local coupons for all sorts of
nice skip shot off the top of the dugout. All right, happy 13th birthday to Ryan Carr. Happy 13th birthday to Ryan Carr. Also, we need the following fans to
Paul Phillips remains on the hill for the Somerset Patriots. 3-0 to score. 3 runs came to the plate in the 5th inning, courtesy of a 2-run triple from Freddie Sandoval, and then runners and corners, an RBI single by Eric Matthews to left field. Triple coming down the right field line from Sandoval. The right-handers have been stymied at the plate for the most part. Prentice Redmond accounts for the only hit of the day for right-handed hitters against the righty Phillips. 2 hits by lefties, Kennard Jones and Ramon Vasquez. That accounts for all of the Bluefish offense today, which has yet to score a run. The first pitch slides away, 1 ball, no strikes. And at times you will run into outstanding pitching. Roy Merritt shut down the Bluefish yesterday with 7 scoreless. And today Paul Phillips is pitching away almost the way that Dan Reichert did the other day against the Bluefish with Southern Maryland as the 1-0 travels outside. 2 balls, no strikes. The only way for Bridgeport to come back into the game was keep themselves within striking distance. And their starting pitcher only went 4 1/3, gave up 3 runs. That's his final line. The next pitch, fastball, rising. 3-0. So he cannot win the game, Diaz. He can only lose it. But Bateman came up with 2 big strikeouts in the 5th inning, a frame where 8 batters came to the plate. Fastball to the inside edge, 3-1. The trivia question for today's game: which member of the Bluefish with a minimum of 40 at-bats had the highest batting average? And the winner of the trivia contest will be receiving a prize courtesy of yours truly. A 3-1. Fastball, low ball, 4. Taking his base, Joey Gathritis. He leads off with a walk. We talked about what walks can do mentally rather than on the physical side. That's the first walk allowed by Paul Phillips. But Johnny Tucker, the leadoff hitter for the Patriots, has walked 3 times today. Now, the first 2 times he walked, the run did not come across. Tucker came across in the 5th inning. Eventually, those walks will catch up to you. You expend plenty of pitches, exhaust energy. And that's what happened. Somerset scored 3 times last inning. First pitch, fastball on the outside edge, 0-1. To Kennard Jones, who's 1 for 2. Single in the first, line drive to left field. It's almost as if you're putting yourself in a precarious situation anywhere. News, politics, business, anywhere. 0-1, Swan and slapped to the netting, 0-2. And you're able to wiggle your way out of it. You're able to find a solution to that problem. But eventually, if you do that too often, eventually you won't have a bailout plan. The 0-2 on its way from the right-hander. Pitch swung on and chopped foul. The count at no balls and 2 strikes. 3-0 the score. We're in Bridgewater, New Jersey. 3 runs on 5 base hits. No runs, 3 base hits, 1 error. Righty-lefty matchup. Jones with an open stance as he waggles the bat slightly. Pitches stroked out to the left. 94 miles an hour on the gun. 0-2. Patriots insignia behind the home plate area. Dimensions in ballpark, 317 left, 315 down the right field line, 402 to center. But the ball does not carry as well in this ballpark as it does in many others. For example, Camden for one, Southern Maryland for another. Those balls prepped all over the wall. They had no business going over the wall. The 0-2. Breaking pitch inside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kennard Jones has also stolen a base in this ball game. Single in the first inning, but could not score when he was in scoring position. Stole the base with 1 man out, but back-to-back strikeouts, and the 1-2 is whiffed. Strike 3. Whenever Phillips has needed the punch-out, he's gotten it. He already has 7 on the day, and it sets up Prentice Redmond at the plate. He's not had too much to worry about. He's not expended or exhausted too much this time around. It is to note, though, third pitches, and when you're striking guys out, it's usually in the 0-2 or the 1-2. Not going more than 3 or 4 at a time. To Prentice Redmond, but first a throw to first. Boy, has it heated up at TD Bank Ballpark. I am sweating profusely. The fans trying to keep themselves cool with those garden sprayers. Same ones that used to try to keep birds cool, the pitches outside. And they're also used gardens, obviously, to make sure you keep warm, or rather keep cool, rather. Does a great job with that. 1 ball, no strikes. Right-hander set, he fires, and the pitch is unleashed inside. 2 balls, no strikes. If Prentice Redmond is able to reach, Colin Delhomme would represent the tying run at home plate. He's on deck. Phillips set the 2-0, fastball outside, 3 balls, no strikes. And you wonder if that long period of time, which Somerset was up in the 5th inning, has had any cause and effect relationship between his ability to hit the corners this time around as opposed to the way that he had completed the first 5 innings. Setup is outside from Santangelo. The fastball runs to the inside corner. He's even missing targets. 3-1. Before, he was barely missing targets. And you wonder how well the bullpen will perform. The 3-1. Fastball away, ball 4. The second walk of the inning provided by Phillips. And you wonder if Santangelo's meeting or a brief moment with Paul Phillips was to provide extra opportunity for Somerset's bullpen to start loosening, as that's what it appears is happening right now. The bullpen catcher making his way down. The bullpen catcher is Matt Fisher down the right field line. He's about to take some warm-up tosses from a right-handed relief pitcher. We do not know what number is on the backside of the jersey just yet. The 1-out pitch is not thrown because he stepped off the rubber. Delhomme struck out swinging in the first and flew out to center field in the 4th. A 1-out toss springs outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Raymar Diaz seemed to lose his ability to find the strike zone. Now it's Paul Phillips who's losing his command of the strike zone. Brett Chody, the pitching coach for the Patriots, comes to the mound to discuss matters with the rest of the infield, including Phillips, who's already thrown quite a few outside the zone this inning. Allowed more walks in this inning than he has the entire game before that. 2 walks this inning, none coming up to this inning. And you wonder if Paul Phillips may be feeling a little bit of heat today and humidity. The weather can certainly play an impact on the way that pitchers feel. It may lead to an adrenaline rush initially, but after sitting out for quite that period of time, followed with an opportunity to come back out for the next frame, it may affect a pitcher such as himself as the pitch rotates to the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. You wonder why a pitcher would need to have those meetings. They're professionals, their career. You wonder why they would need to be encouraged to be throwing strikes. They want to throw strikes to begin with. I'm sure Jody, all he wanted to do was put Phillips in a great mental state, because physically he looks fine. Next pitch, chopped on the ground towards second. Freddie Bynum flips the second one. On to first, double play! That ends the inning on a 4-6-3 DP. Colin DeLome nearly was able to make it to the bag, but according to the first base umpire, Mark back there, 5.5 complete, no hits in the frame for the Bluefish. They leave a runner on. Bridgeport trails by a score of 3-0. You're listening to Bluefish Baseball on BridgeportBluefish.com.
That one field is Ryan. Ryan's going to have to run to third base, steal third base, and then do something that Sean from Boston is told to do. I have no idea what, but we'll all find out together. Right, Max? Get set, go! Alright, looks like he's going to go under the bat. Oh, alright. Alright, so he's going to race back to the camera guy, and he's going to do the next 3, 2, 1, and there's your winner! Having a nice hand for Ryan. The winner of today's A-C-S-C 4G Speed Challenge.
You can use the YP app to find the closest repair shop. Or maybe you're just looking for something to do on a Friday night. Well, it
How about it's time to take a look at the AT&T Golden Game Fan Choice. Your favorite cartoon character, SpongeBob. Thanks to all today's participants. Check your books now to see if you are the winner of all that baseball. AT&T. We make possible.
Collect online T-Spots for your chance to win one of 100 Vegas trips being given away this summer for the big weekend. So grab it online and seize the summer at T-Spots.com. It's that easy. You can. It never happened. It's Miller time. No purchase necessary. Eligible U.S. residents 21 or older. Born in California. Where purchases switch states begins 5/12 and for details on winner and official rules at T-Spots.com. Billy Green Government Network. Wisconsin. Great care, great responsibility.
Lead off home, 6 innings, catcher loose, Angelo.
Bridgeport still down by a score of 3-0 because of the double play ball turned by the Somerset defense led by Freddie Bynum over Rex Rundgren, back to Freddie Sandoval for a 4-6-3. And now Lou Santangelo leads off, followed by Rex Rundgren and Johnny Tucker. 8-9-1 for the Patriots. They've scored 3 times in this game. That all came in the 5th inning when Raymar Diaz exited the contest as Joe Bateman is on the hill for the Bluefish. Santangelo 0 for 2, struck out in the 2nd inning, flew out to left field in the 4th. Next pitch, fastball, rises to the middle of the plate, 0-1. Bridgeport has really been scuffling at the plate in this series. And a large part of it has to do with the massive improvement of Somerset's pitching staff, as the 0-1 is delivered outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. We mentioned earlier in the broadcast there were only 4 players who had returned from last year's squad with the Patriots. Daniel DeGeorge, he's not seen much action. Jess Nettles has. He's a regular. 1-1. Frisbee, pitch inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Let's not forget about the others that have continued to be on this team. Yusuf Carter and, of course, Darryl McCall, who Sparky Lyle really enjoyed having on the team. The 2-1 slips inside. 3 balls, 1 strike. The trivia question for today: which member of the Bluefish hit the best against the Somerset Patriots last year in a minimum of 40 at-bats? And we had a couple of responses. None of them were the correct one. The 3-1 fastball away for ball 4 as Santangelo leads off with a walk against Bateman. One of the responses was from Danny from Danbury, Adam Greenberg, and that is not the correct answer. Steve Moss was another one that was chosen by Mark. Mark did not get the correct answer. The correct answer to the trivia question, Luis Lopez had 369 against the Pats last year with 9 RBI in 65 ABs. Today he is not starting in the lineup. Ramon Vasquez is occupying his position. The bunt is up the first base side. Bateman throws to first. It's not in time. Late cover by Pedro Lopez, and it allows the runner to move up to third. Lou Santangelo moves there. It was intended to be a sacrifice bunt. It was a sac bunt. But the question is who the error goes to. A late break by Pedro Lopez, and it counts as an E1. Runners at the corners for the Pats to set up Johnny Tucker. Tucker has walked all 3 times that he's been at the plate, and if the Bluefish will be playing in. Most important runner right now might be Santangelo, represented at third. Rex Rundgren has some speed over at first. But the Bluefish cannot be, or at least cannot afford to go down by that much. Pitch is lifted in the air to left field. It drifts towards the line. Into the base hit. Santangelo comes to the plate. Kennard Jones throws it into Eddie Rogers. It is a single for Tucker. The Bluefish are now down by a score of 4-0. And the worst part for the Bluefish is they've really been unable to work the pitch count high enough to where they could get Paul Phillips out of the game. It might be quite some time before that happens as Freddie Bynum moves forward. This Somerset squad knows how to do the fundamentals of the game and utilizes the fundamentals to their advantage quite well. The bunt attempt is fouled off to the netting. No balls, 1 strike. When they needed the bunt, they got it down first try. No foul offs, nothing. And for Bateman, no earned run to this point. Essentially, there should be 1 out with runners at first and third as Willie Upshaw makes his way to the hill to check on Joe Bateman, but Freddie Bynum might pose a threat for Bridgeport. They're going to congregate at the mound to see what should happen for the next sequence of pitches. Let's take a look at the scores from around the Atlantic League. So you take a quick look. The Long Island Ducks and the Sugarland Skeeters are tied at 1. That is in the top half of the third inning. The York Revolution and the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. 7:05 tonight from the Regency Furniture. And last but not least, Langston Camden from Campbell's Field tonight, 7:05. Long Island and Sugarland have moved to the top of the fourth inning. And the game is tied at 1 apiece. We'll quickly take a look at the scores from around the world of Major League Baseball at this point. This is the bottom half of inning number 6. A very hot, very steamy day. Pitch bunted up in the air, caught by Bateman, and that results in a P1 for out number 2 with Freddie Sandoval moving forward. Sandoval with triple to right field in the 5th inning. And that broke the scoreless tie at that time. It was no score with runners at first and second base, 1 man out. And Sandoval ripped the pitch down the right field line to account for 2 runs. Sandoval eventually scored an RBI single by Aaron Matthews. 2 out pitch rather, grounded over to second. Lopez Fields takes the second one out to first, double play. That ends the threat. Bridgeport allows 1 run. I do apologize, it was just 1 out. It winds up being a 4-6-3 deep lead at the score on a base hit by Johnny Tucker.
Our contestants today, who believe it or not, are stretching out
1 runner straight. End of 6, 4-0. The score. Bridgeport trailing. You're listening to Bluefish Baseball. We'll be right back into this.
Yeah, there's an open chair left, guys. All right, we're down to 3 contestants now, fighting for 2 chairs. Final 2 contestants, and listen for the music. And sit. Okay, guys, it's musical chairs. You're supposed to do what the music stops. Keep going. Oh boy, I hope we're not teachers.
Sad to chew down.
For all the positions of today's music chairs.
So don't get down. Man up and choose a light beer with more taste. Triple hops brewed Miller Taste Wings. Milwaukee Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
We don't the top of the 7th inning.
An interesting version of musical chairs involving some of the teachers in New Jersey, and they usually tell their students to listen. Well, they quite cannot follow the instructions themselves. A false start for falling onto the chair, and then it was followed by the same person who did not follow the instructions winning the competition. The first pitch fastball to start out the top half of the 7th innings upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Ramon Vasquez. Brock Peterson, Louis Rodriguez do up 5, 6, and 7. Next pitch paints the outside corner of the heater. 1 ball, 1 strike. Paul Phillips has been outstanding in this game, and they do have reinforcements, Somerset does, if he's not able to go that much longer. The next pitch dives over the middle at 81. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mr. Fisher continues to catch a little bit of light tossing from person warming up in the bullpen as the pitch skitters to the backstop. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's really been a better pitching performance for both teams today. The difference is Somerset's offense has come up with a couple of big hits. A couple of more of those as the 2-2 rotates away, 3 balls, 2 strikes. And what you notice about Phillips is that his pitch count is also creeping up there. It is at 89 pitches on the day. This will be number 90, the 3-2. Grounded towards first, bobbled for a moment by Freddie Sandoval, but he flips to Paul Phillips, covering 1 away. 3-1 on the putout. Sends Brock Peterson to the plate. The earliest Major League Baseball game today, LA Dodgers and San Diego Padres, a 6:35 start from San Diegans. Everybody remembers that movie. Anchorman was a classic. This game, not as much for the Bluefish. Somerset has enjoyed control through much of the series. The 1-out toss, fastball, cuts to the inside corner, 0-1. The local games tonight, Boston, Tampa Bay, 7 o'clock. Yankees and Blue Jays from Rogers Center, 7:07 first pitch. Next one swung on and lifted over the lead of the shortstop, Rex Rundgren, into left center field. It's a base hit for Brock Peterson to send Louis Rodriguez to the dish. He just got over the jump of Rundgren as he went to the highest, most point he could possibly go. Put his glove up, just could not snare it. Machete, who struck out twice in this contest, moves forward. Think about it this way, too, though. The Mets, they're playing against the Cincinnati Reds tonight, and then the Reds will hang around because after the Mets, they play the Yankees this weekend in Yankee Stadium. The first pitch is inside, 1 ball and no strikes. The Reds and the Yankees will be the first interleague matchup, and the Mets will have their adversary set as the next pitch is swung on and lifted foul. Mets have had quite a successful season considering what the expectations were after the fallout with Madoff and all of the other news stories coming across involving the Mets. The 1-1 swung on and served in the right center field. It is a base hit. Runners at first and second for the Fish with nobody at, with 1 man batted out rather, and it sends up Pedro Lopez. That ball was smacked to the opposite field, and you wonder if that might be it, as Sparky Lyle points with his right hand to a reliever down the right field line. This ball to the bullpen, presented by Prudential Annuities. Prudential Annuities going to bat for our community. 6 1/3 innings complete for right-hander Paul Phillips. Runners at first and second base are his responsibility. And when we come back, it might be Carlton Smith. It might be somebody else will tell you we cannot see the uniform until now. It is Carlton Smith on the hill for the home team. We'll be right back after this on BridgeportBluefish.com.
The mascots, the baby, even what we learned from them. Some people lines and smell it all come right in when we work together, just like that.
At Prudential Annuities, we understand that when given one works together, good things happen. That's why each year we uphold the commitment to help ensure resources in our community by pitching in financial resources and by enabling Prudential Annuities employees to help others who volunteer. From conducting mentoring programs and helping homeless shelters to supporting health awareness and food banks, Prudential Annuities is more than a company. Therefore, we're a big part of the community.
Marquelano has been called and bullpen run through the Hamper Kia. Now pitching for the Patriots at 26, Carlton Smith.
Carlton Smith makes his way to the mound for the Somerset Patriots. This call to the bullpen, presented by Prudential Annuities. Prudential Annuities, going to bat for our community. Smith with one scoreless inning yesterday, as he continues to pitch very well for this ball club. Carlton Smith entering for the 7th inning. And then, of course, you see the several pitchers that have saves this year. Josh Roop, Daryl McCall, Travis Boyer. Each one of them are relievers. And, of course, there's like DJ Hose. Ball Phillips continues to impress 6 1/3 innings of scoreless baseball. But the Bluefish are threatening, and the tying run is in the on-deck circle represented by Eddie Rogers. First pitch from Smith. Fastball on the outside corner, 0-1. I believe that pitch was clocked at 90 miles per hour. Smith, though, throws with some velocity. Boy, he can get it up there. The 0-1. Curveball swung on ground to third and deflects off the glove of Jeff Nettles. The Bluefish score their first run of the game on the E5 as both runners move up a base, and nearly falling asleep, Louis Rodriguez. He was about a couple of feet off the third base bag and nearly committed a mental error. The Bluefish have the tying run coming to the plate, and that is I believe the first error of the game. No, it's ruled as a base hit. Wow. That ball was struck, but it went off the backhand of the third baseman, Jeff Nettles, allowing Brock Peterson to score. Louis Rodriguez and Pedro Lopez move up, so Lopez is, I believe, credited with a double. Bridgeport only down now 4-1. Here's Eddie Rogers to the plate. He's 0 for 2. Smith settles, elbow down, juts the glove down, the 1-out toss, fastball outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Whenever there has been a save situation, Bridgeport has, for the most part, damaged the closers for every one of these teams. Southern Maryland did it several times, and then did it against Camden once against Lujan. Pitch right on the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. 3 times save opportunity, 3 times blown saves. So the Bluefish, they can certainly hit, and they're still in the contest. They have the runners in scoring position. The infield playing at least halfway back, except at first. Freddie Sandoval is playing slightly forward towards the left of the infield grass. 1-1 stroke, left field, base hit. 1 run scores as Rodriguez comes plateward. Pedro Lopez stops at third. RBI single for Eddie Rogers. The Bluefish are within 2. It's 4-2. That pitch was spoke to left field. Carlton Smith not nearly having the same kind of day as the final line for Paul Phillips is complete. 6 1/3 innings, 2 runs, 5 strikeouts, 5 hits, and 2 walks. As Sparky Lyle makes his way to the mound, there will be no pitching change because there was nobody warming up in the Somerset bullpen, or at least not from this angle, but Sparky takes the ball away from Carlton Smith. Presented by Prudential Annuities. Prudential Annuities going to bat for our community. Southpaw entering the game. We'll tell you who it is right after this on BridgeportBluefish.com.
Bridgewater has hold and open, but give us Tampa Patriots. For the Patriots and 31, Chase Wright. Tampa Patriots conveniently located on Route 22 in Bridgewater. Fiat, power to supply.
This call to the bullpen presented by Prudential Annuities. Prudential Annuities going to bat for our community. Joey Gathright steps up to the plate. He has had a home run in each of the last 2 games that he has played. Can he make it 3 in a row? Runners at the corners, 1 man out. This call to the bullpen presented by Prudential Annuities. Chase Wright deals, and the left-hander paints the pitch on the outside corner 0-1. He changed his pitching motion this year. Now a sinking sidewinder as opposed to an over-the-top pitcher. A 4.22 career ERA for Wright. Features a fastball, slider, and changeup as the next pitch. Lands right in the strike zone 0-2. Comes away firing. And there appears to be nobody else loosening up for Somerset in their bullpen. Both runners are the responsibility of the first reliever as the fastball tails away. The count 1 ball and 2 strikes. First reliever Carlton Smith. Opponents hitting 194 against him. Well, that certainly will change after the Bluefish were able to pick up back-to-back hits. The 1-2 on its way to Gathright. Pitch, check, swing, went through the zone, strike 3. And Gathright could not hold up on the offering to send Kennard Jones to the dish. And this is exactly why Sparky Lyle wanted the southpaw in the game to use the devastating changeup or slider toward the end of the count. In his last game, or at least the last game that he played was 5-13 at York. And according to this line, actually picked up the last game was 5-13 at York. Total 6 2/3 innings, 7 runs allowed, I believe by the team. 2-out toss, fastball away, 1 ball and no strikes. Chase Wright, 5.63 ERA, 8 innings, 6 runs, 5 earned on the year. And hitters are performing quite well against the lefty. Next pitch, fastball, glides to the outside corner, 1-1. And a lefty like this who provides power stuff, 91, 92, with the slider and the changeup to go off of that, presents a problem for left-handed hitters as the off-speed delivery settles inside, appear to be about 82 miles an hour. 2-1. Remember, if Kennard Jones reaches base, then Prentice Redmond will be The next hitter is Kennard, slaps one to the right side. Handled by Freddie Bynum at second, and he delivers to first in plenty of time to retire the side. The Bluefish creep 2 runs closer, courtesy of 4 base hits for the Fish, but they had runners at first and third with 1 man out. Could not score anymore. At the end of the 6th half, Bridgeport trails by a score of 4-2. You're listening to Bluefish Baseball on the Bluefish Broadcast Network.
Take me up to the crowd. Come on, sing roll out.
Let's not talk about the motel key. Numerous players, Sparkle, Domino, Meadows King. There's lots of things.
Alright, will they finish? Alright, you did a good job today. And because you did that, there is no school tomorrow. Except for Greenbrook Middle School.
Baseball is back on the air for the bottom half of the 7th inning. Bridgeport pushed across 2 runs in the top half of the 7th after Paul Phillips left the game, and the 2 runners were his responsibility, but North Park Hawkins gave up 2 hits. And that's what led to the run scoring runners. First base in the second when Pedro Lopez doubled down the left field line off the draw on the third baseman Jeff Meadows. Eventually Eddie Rogers another.
Getting ready to hit down the
Bluefish could not score anymore. That is causing the middle to return by Chase Wright, and now it comes down to the bullpen. Somerset bullpen has not been that great this year. The thing about Roy Merrill, the 2 best ERA guys have been out of the starting rotation. Mike Solomon, Travis Boyer, and also Carlton Smith. We just saw Carlton Smith, and really not had too much to really cheer about when it comes down to the bullpen. And starting pitching different. Same way with Southern Maryland. Southern Maryland starting pitching, for the most part, has been outstanding against Bridgeport as Bateman stands in. And he takes on Jesse Horlbeck. The first pitch slides a hair outside, maybe a tad low, indicated by Mr. Whitey behind home plate. 1 ball and no strikes. Fans are spraying their garden sprays up in the air. They look like water guns, but they are baseball sprays. Some of them come in a variety of styles. They're allowed to bring them inside the ballpark as the pitch is right there for a strike, 1-1. Keep themselves cool in this really hot day, really humid day. Even though the sun has faded behind the clouds, and there is still a chance that there will be a thunderstorm later this afternoon. it will not happen until much after the ball game has come to a close. The pitch is popped up down the right side of the infield, but Brock Peterson runs out of space as it falls in the concourse area between the first and second set of seats. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody out. 4 runs scored by Summer that set. 3 of them scored on a Frenny Summerall triple followed by an Aaron Matthews single. And they tacked on 1 more in the 6th inning, courtesy of a walk, a sacrifice bunt, and he won, eventually leading to a single by Johnny Tucker, but the Bluefish were able to escape without any further trouble as Bateman sends one to the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So far, an inning and 2/3 complete for Bateman. He's given up 1 run, and I believe that the run at this point is unearned. I'll have to double check on that because of the double play ball. 2-2 from Bateman. Pitch served high in the air. First base side, Peterson leaning towards the coach's box and makes the play as he veered near the chalk. 1 away on the PF3 by Horlbeck to send Aaron Matthews for another opportunity to swing the bat. Matthews a single last night. I don't know if he's been the one guy that has really produced for this team almost every time that they have asked him to. Came up with 3 RBI yesterday, has another one today. He's at 295. Corner outfielder brought in to provide a power bat in the lineup, something that they really did not have from the right side a year ago. 1 out pitch is swung on and fouled straight back. No balls, 1 strike, other than Jeff Nettles, of course. But Aaron Matthews reminds me a lot of Tommy Everidge, the way that he's built. It's almost like he looks as if he's going to be a lumberjacksman. Everidge, the first baseman for the Barnstormers, the former big leaguer. It seems as if he could chop down any tree that he wanted to. He is a strong dude. The 0-1. Third ball outside, 1 ball and 1 strike, and you can hear the Patriots fans cheering for their team at the ballpark. There will be 1 morning game for the Bluefish during the homestanding 1 afternoon affair. The afternoon affair coming up this Sunday. The morning contest on Wednesday against Southern Maryland. The pitch is lifted foul right in front of the press box, a row or 2 back, and it appears as if somebody was just struck in the face in the back row. Oh boy. Somebody might have been struck in the face, or even as the Patriots people are trying to get help over to the area right in front of the broadcast booth to roll up. And that's what you do. You have to pay attention to the baseball game at all times. She might have been struck in the shoulder or even the chest as well. And it's very difficult to tell from here. It came awfully close to perhaps yours truly from making the play. That's how close it was. The 1-2. Swung on and chopped on the ground to third. Mo Vasquez snags and delivers to first in time, 2 away. It counts as the 5-3. It may have hit her in the left shoulder, which is where they're trying to nurse the and she's trying to sit as far away from that area as possible until help comes. I believe someone is going to be coming from the emergency staff, as they do have a first aid team taking care of the injured fan. 2 away brings up Jeff Nettles. First pitch from Bateman is low and outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Four to 2 the score, and that is just a reminder for those fans out there who are listening. If you intend to go to any ball game, make sure you're paying attention at all times to where the ball is, because you never know when you will get struck with it. The 1-0. Fastball over the middle of the plate, 1 ball, 1 strike. And even so, it's not just baseballs. It could be flying bats. These are former big leaguers that you're talking about here. Just take that precaution with you. Pay attention all times. The 1-1 slides outside, 2-1 the count.
Everybody clap your hands.
And it appears as if some of the fans from just in front of the broadcast booth have shifted to the left side. Do not know what all the commotion is about, perhaps trying to exit the ballpark because they have to meet the bus requirements. The 2-1 is swung on, I missed 2 and 2. Then to the fans, they have to leave maybe during the 7th inning stretch or a little bit later than that because they have time constraints. Leave at 1:30, get ready for the bus at 2:15, get on the bus 2:30 to get going for home, for their houses. Some of the fans, though, are sticking out a little bit longer than that. Bateman's 2-2. Serve high in the air to deep left field. Kennard Jones moving back. He's near the track. He's at the wall. That ball is gone. A solo drive. A killer against the Bluefish Jack Nettles. Blitzing down the left field line. And comes up with the shot. A 2-out home run. And the Bluefish are down by a score of 5-2. It looked as if Bateman would be able to escape the jab or any trouble, but Jeff Nettles said no to that notion. And Nettles lifts it over the wall and left. His second home run of the season. As Johnny Drennan moves forward. Bateman stares in for the side. Patriots have scored a run in each of the previous 3 innings. The 2-out pitch swung on and missed. Drennan really tried to pull that pitch, but it dove well out of the zone 0-1. Many times, it is the appropriate thing to do to show a pitch that appears to be low and in, but it dives well outside the zone. And left-handed hitters will swing over the top. Drennan has not seen much success in the series, just 1 for 7, as he waits for a fastball turning outside, and he did not go around. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jeff Nettles 1 for 4 now in the game, but that is a big shot as Kennard Jones could not quite get to the baseball. It's 317 feet deep, and he's at the ballpark at RBR. Chances are he makes the catch in the corner. The 1-1 drifts to the edge. A ball and 2 strikes. And it appears as if the injured fan may have an issue with the shoulder, but she wound up with a souvenir baseball courtesy of the Patriots. A brand new baseball. 1-2. Grounded foul to the right side. 1 ball, 2 strikes. But this is just a reminder. If you get struck, you could be hurt. Just pay attention out there to the game. And if you do, you will avoid certain injuries. There are times when it's just unavoidable. The ball goes so fast, you don't even know what's happening. 0-1-2. Served into left field. Kennard Jones sprinting in. He won't get there. It plops behind the third baseman, Ramon Vasquez, into shallow left. A single back-to-back hits for the Pats. Brings up Santangelo. Game started at 11:05 Eastern. It's now 1:34. On the East Coast, the clouds are beginning to filter in slowly but surely as the weather may be turning a little bit darker as the afternoon moves on. Chance of thunderstorms in Bridgeport today. Chance of a storm or 2 in Bridgewater. And the Patriots offense, they definitely stormed out to the lead once they were shut down initially. The first pitch is swung on and lifted foul 0-1. You can still hear the boisterous fans in the ballpark rooting for their team and creating a positive energy for the Somerset players as the 0-1 first is not in time. Plenty of home games coming up for the Fish. First week of the season was at home. The next two were at different venues around the Atlantic League as the 0-1 is swung on and whiffed. 0-2. Now remember this, maybe Bridgeport, even though they had business to take care of, they secured a winning road trip in the Camden Series and now are hoping to get back on their feet again against Somerset as the next pitch is outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. When you have a winning road trip of this length of time, you'll be happy to be home at another time. The 1-2, the first Bateman delivers to first. And the other interesting thing is, even though there is some cloudiness up ahead, for those that may not have rain showers or may not have clouds, you may actually get to see the solar eclipse. 1-2, lifted high in the air, foul to the right side. Brock Peterson scampers, but he runs out of room and falls up 5 rows back. Probably be able to see it in the southwest part of the United States. Not nearly as much cloudiness over there. There is over here. The solar eclipse really does wonders, and perhaps the best site according to the predictions from national news sites and others. Find it in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and very close to Midland, Texas, which is where the AA Athletics affiliate is located. The pitch is fouled off to the backstop, 1 ball and 2 strikes, and it runs near Reno, Nevada as well, where many Bluefish players have ventured for their AAA career. Let's not forget about Dan Stange earlier this year when he was signed by Padres organization, but now is working for the San Antonio Missions after he struggled considerably at the AAA level. 1-2, fastball runs inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Patriots showing their strength today. They own a 5-2 lead with a runner on first base. Bottom half of the 7th inning. Bateman waits, stalls, and delivers. High fly into shallow center field. Delhomme charging in. He won't get there. Neither will the shortstop, Eddie Rogers. Another blue base hit for Somerset. Runners at the corners for Rex Rundgren. That ball was where the imaginary Y is located. Shortstop, second baseman, center fielder. The 3 converged, but the closest one to the baseball, perhaps, was Eddie Rogers as he sprinted backwards, but was unable to snag it on the back pedal. With 2 away, Rex Rundgren moves forward as Willie Upshaw appears to have had enough of Joe Bateman today. He did not pitch poorly, but he did go 2 1/3 innings. Willie Upshaw was hoping to complete this frame and have to go to a left-hander for the next frame, but this call to the bullpen is presented by Prudential Annuities. Prudential Annuities going to bat for our community, and I believe it's Jesse English heading to the hill when we return on BridgeportBluefish.com. We'll be right back.
just like at Prudential Annuities, we understand that when everyone works together, good things happen. That's why each year, when I meet them, financial resources, and by giving great advertising funds, help others with opportunity. From conducting mentoring programs and helping homeless shelters to supporting health awareness and banks, Prudential Annuities is a good company here. Prudential Annuities, how it can happen for the whole Prudential Insurance Company.
The Bluefish may be one run away from allowing this game to get away from them. Jeff Nettles picked up a solo drive with 2 men out to extend the lead back to 3 runs. And now with runners at the corners, Rex Rundgren steps up with Jesse English making his way to the mound. English has done a solid job with Bridgeport this season. And he's really, just like Joe Bateman, has really had one outing which he wish he could have back. And he already had 3.86 for English, 9 1/3 innings, 2 wins and no losses this season for the left-hander, as the Southpaw is hoping to keep this game in check. And it appears there's more action brewing in the Bluefish bullpen. It appears to be Romy Lewis down the left field line. No chance for Jonah Bayless, or for that matter, Jorge Julio, to make their way into the game. They're rather difficult for each of the players. 2 men out. Rundgren is 0-for-2 today, as the left-hander English delivers and the pitch is well inside. 1 ball, no strikes. There is a thunderstorm line developing in western Pennsylvania, but it's going to be a long time before any of that reaches the New York City and central New Jersey areas. The 1-0 is right over the middle, 1-1. And there are a couple of pop-up storms as well starting to show up in Pennsylvania and very northwest New Jersey, which is relatively far from TD Bank Ballpark. It's close to the New York State border, actually. Northwest part of Jersey. English is 1-1. Swung on and served into right field. It's pretty deep. That ball twists foul towards the corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bridgeport looking to hold this team down just to the 1 run. Perhaps after that, Bridgeport can make its run at the Patriots bullpen. The 1-2 appeared to be a breaking pitch that stood high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Five to 2 the score. 5 runs, 9 base hits. 2-7-2 for the road team as English deals with pitches. A jam shot, foul right side. Inside out swing, 2-2. The front will pass by. Temperatures will cool considerably tomorrow. Probably about 70 degrees at game time tomorrow, as opposed to the 80s today. And perhaps the Bluefish will be able to score more runs against starting pitching, because they have not scored one against the tandem as the pitch is stroked into right field, but it is foul ball as it rolls close to the Patriots dugout. And they're about heavy between the dugout and the bullpen. Many of the fans have departed from TD Bank Ballpark. They had a decent number of fans coming in today. Runner off of first, 2-2. Upstairs, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Oshigara yesterday gave up 5 runs in his start. Raymar Diaz gave up 3 runs today. Between Merritt, Paul Phillips, 13 innings, 2-run baseball. Of course, the 2 runs did score against Phillips. It was counted for his record, but the bullpen was the one that allowed those runs to come across. The 3-2 is lifted high in the air to shallow right. Pedro Lopez plays the ball and makes the catch for the final out of the frame. But another run comes across on a solo drive by Jeff Nettles. The Bluefish are now down by a score of 5-2. At the end of 7, you're listening to Perry Miles on BridgeportBluefish.com. We'll be right back after this.
There's a best way better than down. You don't tell someone sad and shoot down. What's down, dog? A speeding violin you just stepped in. Your girlfriend's not wearing a push down bra. It's low gravity, I said. Can I be down front with you? All this down talk is pretty good. So don't man down. Man up and choose a light beer with 4 taste. Triple hops, brewed with taste wrinkles. Illinois company with 1 inch. Great beer, great responsibility. Shark tooth, screwdriver, skeleton key, half teeth on the golf trip that you never went golfing on. Go for it. Lucky fish, you know you snack out. Sorry, Alan. Drumsticks, chopsticks, and placement in down space for the tennis. The motel key. Let's not talk about the motel key. The smart key. The domino. The house key. None of these things make Miller Lite from a can even better. Find out in 2012. Miller Brewing Company, Vermont, Wisconsin. Great beer, great responsibility.
mascots. That baseball reminds us how we can all come out ahead when we work together, just like a team. At Prudential Annuities, we understand that when everyone works together, good things can happen. That's why each year we uphold a commitment to helping charitable causes in our community by pitching in financial resources and by enabling Prudential Annuities employees programs and helping homeless shelters to supporting health awareness and food banks.
Bridgeport Bluefish Baseball is back on the air. Perry Miles, BridgeportBluefish.com, 1:48 Eastern Standard Time, May the 16th. Hot and humid day at the ballpark. Chase Wright, after a long layoff, throws first pitch upstairs and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Prentice Redmond, Colin Delome, Ramon Vasquez. 3, 4, and 5 as the next pitch lands outside to Redmond. Redmond has walked and singled, so he extended his on-base streak to 16, which matches Kennard Jones's stretch for the longest with the Bluefish, as the 2-0s are rocketed outside, 3 balls and no strikes. Bridgeport has had a couple more hits today, 7 to be exact, than they did yesterday. 3-0 right down the middle, 3-1 on a heater. I like going to see a big-time fastball from Chase Wright as he uncorked, swung on, and served high in the air to center field, drifting forward to his right, making the catch. Johnny Tucker out in center field, 1 away. A 3-1 offering that Redmond just missed. Counts as an F8 to send Colin Delome to the dish. Delome is 0 for 3. Strikeout, fly ball to center, and grounded to a 4.63 DP. So he's 0 for 3. He's 0 for 6 in the series with 4 strikeouts. The 1-out toss, fastball, trails outside, 1 ball and no strikes. There's more action for Somerset down the right field line. They want to make sure that they have this game in check. The 1-0 way inside and nearly bent over the plate to the inside corner. 2 balls, no strikes. Delhomme ducked. Gave up on the pitch. That had some nasty twist. As Delhomme gets back up. 2-0 swung on and with 2-1. The post-game show is coming up following the conclusion of this ball game. Scores and summaries from around the Atlantic League and also what's to be taking place tonight in the big leagues. The 2-1. Slap foul to the left. Angled out of play. 2-2. Look at a guy like Delhomme. You would never think he has the kind of power that he does. And then once he smacks the ball, it can go a long way. Compact swing and a very good one. The 2-2. Chopped on the ground to the right side as it dribbles close to the coach's box. 2-2. Fans still hanging out at the picnic area. Some fans still hanging out on the right side. A few scattered other followers on the left side of the pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. Colin Delhomme goes down for the second time today. Brings up Ramon Vasquez. Already has a double. A fly ball to left and a ground ball 3-1.
For 3, Ramon Vasquez.
Double off the right field wall. Missed within inches of going over the wall. Lefty-lefty situation coming up. Third baseman Nettles playing well off the third base bag. Everyone else, with the exception of the shortstop, playing relatively straight away. Rundgren cheating a little bit towards the second base bag as the first pitch curls to the outside, but misses the corner. 1 ball and no strikes. Middle of the day game, the 1-0, fastball outside, 2 balls, no strikes. But this is the same number of runs that Bridgeport produced yesterday in their 7-2 setback. Somerset continuing with their great starting pitching. The 2-0 is right on the inside corner, 2-1. You throw 6 1/3 innings, give up 2 runs. You're going to win most of the time. And Bridgeport, if they do the same on offense, they're not going to win much of the time as the pitch is stroked foul to the left side and ricochets back to the field of play, fair territory. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runs have been scored by the Patriots in each of the last few innings. Bridgeport in danger of putting up a 0 after placing a 2 spot in the 7th. The 2-2. Fastball outside, 3-2. Most important batter rather, is not coming up until the on-deck hitter gets to the plate, in which case it would be the on-deck circle. The 3-2 is low ball 4. Ramon Vasquez walks. He goes to first base as he takes off his shin guard and throws his bat aside for the ball boy to recover, and it sets up Brock Peterson. Remember this, Louis Rodriguez is on deck. He represents the tying run if he were to get to the plate. Bridgeport has had their couple of opportunities in this game to score a few runs, but they were unsuccessful in the last inning to perhaps get even closer than the margin that they had originally. Runners at the corners, 1 man out, and we're unable to get forward as Peterson swings through. 0-1, pitch dove outside. Peterson, formerly with the AAA Rochester Red Wings. That was his last time in affiliate baseball. He's produced anywhere from 17 to 20 home runs a year in minor league baseball for most of his career. The pitch rotates away, 1 ball, 1 strike. But for a guy like him who is able to play first base and who's also occupied right field, the question is whether or not he would be able to play one of those positions back in affiliate ball, and the answer might be he might play right field. Pitch, grounded foul off of his shin, 1 ball, 2 strikes. A couple of years ago, Josh Phelps was picked up by the Columbus Clippers, the AAA affiliate. And what unfolded there was he was forced to play left field rather than his traditional first base. He was being utilized in that position. He wanted to perform at the affiliated level and could not quite keep his status there because he did not produce the way that 2. 1-2. Glove down the belt. Pitch. Fastball inside. 2-2. And you look at several players like that. You look like Josh Phelps, who was unable to produce. Charlton Jimmers a couple of years back with the Bluefish, dominated with Bridgeport. Next offering is chopped on the ground, 3 hops to the shortstop, Rex Rundgren, who delivers to Freddie Bynum at second base to retire the side of 6-4 fielder's choice to end the inning. 1 runner left on at the end of 7.5. Bridgeport down by 2. You're listening to Bluefish Baseball on the Bluefish broadcast.
He knows what he's doing back there.
A sizzling, succulent filet mignon, scrumptious semi-Florentine, savory twin grilled pork chops. Getting hungry? Your table awaits at the Park City Grill, Fairfield County's elegant dining spot, and the beautifully renovated Bridgeport Holiday Inn. Comfortable, warm, and inviting, Park City Grill offers a world-class dining experience at reasonable prices. Come to the Park City Grill, 1070 Main Street in the Bridgeport Holiday Inn. KI-95 exit 27A to exit 2. Plenty of free secure parking.
The YP.com website is your local search engine. If you're looking for a good restaurant, it can help you find the right one nearby with ratings and reviews. Or if your car breaks down, you can use the YP app to find the closest repair shop. Or maybe you're just looking for something to do on a Friday night. Well, it has great local coupons for all sorts of things in your area, no matter what, when, or where. If you're looking for something, YP Local Search can help you find it. So go to YP.com or download the app. Search local, find it, and save it.
Miller Lite wants you to win the greatest weekend that never happened. The ultimate Vegas weekend for you and a buddy. Just collect Miller Lite taste points for your chance to win one of 100 Vegas trips being given away this summer for the big weekend. So grab Miller Lite and seize the summer at tastepoints.com. It's that easy, and it never happens. It's Miller time. No purchase necessary. Up to legal U.S. residents, 21 or older. Void in California and where prohibited. Restrictions 5-12 and take 1.
Jesse English remains on the mound for the Bluefish. Bridgeport down by a score of 5-2, and it would be assumed that Somerset would go to the back end of the bullpen at this point after Chase Wright was able to eliminate 2 birds of baseball, giving up no hits and no runs allowed. And the Bluefish just, for whatever reason, just cannot seem to hit this Patriots pitching. As the first toss is on its way to Johnny Tucker. He's followed by Freddie Bynum and Freddie Sandoval. 1, 2, and 3. The first pitch swung on and missed. 0-1. It's foul tipped. 1 walk on the day for Wright. And he also struck out a pair of hitters. He had been struggling heading into today's play. He was given the opportunity to excel, and he did against the Bridgeport Bats as Ramon Vasquez leans in. The next pitch is swung on and fouled to the screen. 0-2. It all began with a 2-run triple in the 5th inning for Sandoval, and then an RBI single to left field for Aaron Matthews to make it 3-0. 4-0, courtesy of a walk, a sacrifice bunt, and an E1 that sent Santangelo over to third. He wound up scoring on a single to center by Johnny Tucker. Bridgeport scored 2 in the 7th inning. Pair of singles followed by a Pedro Lopez double and then an RBI single by Eddie Rogers. But it just has not been enough to this point as the pitch is lined foul to the right side as it nearly hit the metal railing. 0-2. Another day at the ballpark for Bridgeport, but they're in danger of falling to 12-7 on the year and 7-5 with one more road game coming up on the trip as the pitch is poked out to right center field. Redmond on the move and makes the grab on the sprint toward the alley. 1 away. if the Bluefish are unable to come back in this game, this is the first series that the squad would have lost all season long. Somerset have lost a couple of series already. They started out the season at 1-4, so they had to have lost at least 2 series there, and 1 more against the York Revolution sweep. As the left-handed hitter, Freddie Bynum, moves forward. Bynum 2 for 4. Pair of singles for the left-handed hitter as he lets the first pitch sink into the corner, 0-1. Single to right in the first, fielder's choice 5-4 in the third, and another single in the fifth. Next pitch, grounded sharply, diving play made by Peterson. He snagged it toward the line and ran to first to touch the bag before Bynum got there. What a play, and it appears as if Bynum is hobbling. He was gallivanting.
First baseman,
pulled down the first base line, and he may have pulled up as he had to skip down the dugout steps. The question is whether he will be okay for tomorrow. That cannot be good news for Sparky Lyle Company. Freddie Bynum has been instrumental to the team's success this year as Freddie Sandoval moves forward, 3 unassisted on the play as the first pitch is spiked 50 feet to the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. Really did not make it out of Jesse English's arm too well. Sandoval has one of the big hits in the game. Triple in the 5th inning. Fastball directed low. Counted 2 balls and no strikes. As many positives about Mike Tarzi that there were yesterday, and the fact that the Patriots got a few hits against Oseguera that normally would not be struck against the left-hander. Today, the Bluefish have had their chances. They've not been able to capitalize as the 2-0s right down Broadway, 2-1. Meanwhile, Somerset, they're taking advantage of everything. Left-hander had the ball in the belt, brings it to the glove, and drops it back down. The 2-1. Settles low, 3 balls and a strike. And it appears as if there was a pitcher warming up the bullpen. The question is, which number was it to be able to identify that reliever? 3-1. Left-hander, ready, and the pitch is poked foul. Right side, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Plenty of action tonight across sports. You look at the Rangers and the Devils tonight in the NHL. In the NBA, a little bit different, but still plenty of action taking place there. And baseball, plenty of action, and that had plenty of action on that pitch. English strikes him out, reaching for an off-speed delivery. The first strikeout of the day for English as he has tossed an inning and a third of scoreless relief. But the Bluefish need 3 runs to tie and 4 to take the lead. This call to the bullpen presented by Prudential Annuities. Prudential Annuities going to bat for our community. When we come back, we will talk about left-handed pitcher, or a left-handed pitcher that's about, or right-handed pitcher rather, about to enter the game, Josh Roop, when we return here on the Bluefish Broadcast Network.
Celebrate the passion. Baseball is different in a lot of ways. The sport means so much. And it's something we should never forget. I think
and I did just like what you did a great job.
Celebrate the game. Celebrate the passion. The Vancouver Cooperstown baseball not over. Celebrate the game. Celebrate the passion. Baseball is different in a lot of ways, where the history of the sport means so much. It's something we should never forget. I think the whole thing is the way we're going to do it.
I visited it just like what you did with the whole thing.
Celebrate the game. Celebrate the passion. Connect with Cooperstown at baseballball.org.
Second line was the ball in the open over the defensive key. For Patriots number 39, Josh Roop. Kia, the Paradise Prize. Visit KemperKia.com. Leading off the top of inning number 9.
The Bluefish down by a score of 5-2. This call to the bullpen presented by Prudential Annuities. Prudential Annuities going to bat for our community. Josh Roop is in the game. 1 win, 2 losses, an ERA of a little south of 5, 4.91. 7 1/3 innings pitched, and opponents are hitting .241 against the right-hander. He already has 2 saves on the year. This is a save situation. It's the first pitch. Lines up in the inside corner to Machete, and won the count. 5-2 ball game. Last inning was the first time that the Bluefish had not allowed a run to the Patriots since the 4th. The 0-1 whiffed. Big cut from Rodriguez. What appeared to be a fastball at 95 miles an hour. 0-2. Go figure. Somerset is throwing some gas out there between pitcher Roy Merritt yesterday, Paul Phillips today. Let's not forget about Roop. The 0-2 swung on and foul tip at the plate of 96. And, no foul tip.
That's right. Striking out and slow pitch.
Rodriguez was just called out on the miss. 96 on the gun from Roop.
For Pedro Lopez.
Pedro Lopez moves forward. Let's take a look at Chase Wright's resume today. An inning and 2/3, 2 strikeouts and a walk. As Paul Phillips looks to be he is in line for the victory, assuming Somerset is able to hold on. First pitch upcoming to Pedro Lopez. Fastball right down the middle, 0-1. The pitch is getting clocked between 93 and 96 miles per hour. That is some serious heat from Roop. As he drops the shoulder down, brings it back up, and sets the ball at the belt. The 0-1. Chopped right in front of the mound. The pass Roop as it goes towards third. There is no play. It's an infield single for Pedro Lopez. The shortstop Rex Rundgren and Jeff Nettles converged on the baseball. But as soon as Roop released the ball and it was hit, the ball bounced high enough to where Roop could not recover and could not snag it down, even with his height. Roop at 6'3", 210 pounds. Virginia Beach, Virginia's made to the Baltimore Orioles organization. He was in the major leagues last year. So he did quite well, but he finds himself in independent baseball at this point. Throwing this well. Though 1-out toss. Fastball sinks low, 1 ball and no strikes. And you know for a fact that this guy throwing 96 miles an hour on the radar gun, I'm sure many teams will be seeking his services with the power and the arm that he provides. The catcher Santangelo sits up outside. The pitch rotates low. 2 balls and no strikes, and perhaps this is the reason why Roop's earned run average is this high, at near 5, because his walk total is that high. Opponents are only 240 plus against him, but Roop, he's only given up 2 walks to this point as a fastball rotates inside in the corner, 2-1. That pitch clocked at 95. Do not believe the Bluefish have players that are throwing 95, 96 at this point, except for maybe Jorge Julio. Gilbert De La Vara reached 92 miles per hour in New York. Setup is towards the middle, the 2-1. Chopped on the ground toward short. Rundgren fields to his right. First, second, 1 out to first. Double play. That ends the threat and ends the ball game. The Bluefish fall by a score of 5-2. Boy, Somerset's pitching has been shut down this series. The Bluefish lose their first series of the year, and they go down by 3 runs. Post-game show coming up right after this on BridgeportBluefish.com. We'll be right back.
Skeleton Key, golf team from the golf trip that you never went golf.
Your final score this afternoon, Patriots 5, Bluefish 2. Patriots have victory ball.
Chopsticks from the place you meant to
Says
go.
that the County Education Association is sponsor of the victory ball. Somerset County Public Schools, where every child is an MVP.
Find out May 2012. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Great beer, great responsibility.
All right, the final game of this short homestand is tomorrow night. 7:05 first pitch, and we'll have some post-game fireworks for you tomorrow. So hope you enjoy us for tomorrow night's series finale against the Bluefish. 7:05 first pitch and post-game fireworks. If you enjoyed your day at the ballpark, we've got another one for you next week on the 24th. That will be next Thursday. It's also an 11:05 start. So again, if you enjoyed your day here at the ballpark, and why wouldn't you? We've got another game Thursday at 11:05. So if you can be here, we hope you enjoy us next week. Don't forget, fireworks tomorrow night, 7:05 first pitch. Then a short road trip. Patriots will be back next Thursday for a day game. Again, 11:05 start. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for being with us today. It's 7:05. Thank you, and please ride home.
Celebrate the passion. Baseball is different in a lot of ways. Where the sport means so much, and it's something we should never forget. I think the Hall of Fame has a way of reminding you.
Anytime that I've visited, it's just like a little kid.
You people at the Hall of Fame have done a great job preserving the history of the game.
Celebrate the game. Celebrate the passion. Connect with Cooperstown at baseballhall.org.
Baseball legend Henry Aaron reflects on his Hall of Fame legacy.
And I think that since I played for the club, maybe to share what I did in my life with baseball. It's the proudest moment of my life to give everything to the whole thing. I often tell them that you can see it. That the building in the world like the Hall of Fame.
Celebrate the legacy. Connect with Cooperstown at baseballhall.org.
Bluefish Baseball is back on the air. I am Perry Miles. The final score from TD Bank Ballpark. The Patriots defeat the Bluefish by a score of 5-2. Let's go through how it all unfolded here at TD Bank Ballpark. As it all began in the 5th inning. The pitchers were cruising, but then Raymar Diaz, one frame, just gave up a few runs, although there may have been implicit symbols or signals indicating that Diaz might do such. Johnny Walker walked 3 times. First time was when he led off the game. The second time when he was batting second in that inning. And the third time was when he was batting second in the inning. The third time he walked, Freddie Bynum sent him to second base on a single. And then Freddie Sandoval ripped a 2-run triple to right field to make the score 2-0 Somerset after Jesse Horlbeck walked and Matthew singled to left to bring home the final run of that inning to make it 3-0. Bridgeport continued to fall behind further. With runners at the corners after a walk by Santangelo, a sacrifice bunt and an E1 sent Santangelo to third. Johnny Tucker singled to center field to bring home the 4th run. Bridgeport scored 2 in the 7th, courtesy of one-out rally. A single by Brock Peterson, Louis Rodriguez with another single, and a Pedro Lopez double off the glove of the third baseman Nettles at third down the left field line. But then Eddie Rogers came up with the singles, 4-2 runners to the corners, but Chase Wright came in and pretty much shut down the rest of the Bluefish attack. 1 2/3 innings, 2 strikeouts and a walk. And Greg Nettles, with 2 men out in the 7th, was able to pop a home run to left field, his second shot of the year. The scoring line here from TD Bank Ballpark. Raymar Diaz, 4 1/3 innings, picks up the loss. He's now 0-2. 3 runs, 5 hits, 4 walks, and a strikeout. Joe Bateman, 2 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, a walk, and 2 Ks. Meanwhile, Jesse English an inning and a third with 1 strikeout as the Bluefish fell 5-2. Paul Phillips with the victory, 6 1/3, 5 hits, along with 2 runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks. Smith, 2 hits allowed, but did not record an out. Wright with an inning and 2/3 of walk and 2 strikeout baseball. And Roop, a hit and a strikeout in his appearance. Let's take a look at the Bluefish lineup. 1 hit for Jones, a hit for Redmond, nothing for Gathra or DeLome, as the center fielder DeLome continues to be in a little bit of a struggle against Somerset, now 0 for 7 in the series. Brock Peterson with a hit and a run, Vasquez with a hit, Louis Rodriguez, 1 hit and 1 run, 2 hits for Lopez and an RBI, Eddie Rogers a hit and an RBI today. Somerset, they had 9 hits and 5 runs, a hit and a run for Tucker, 2 hits and a run for Bynum, a hit, a run, 2 RBI for Sandoval. Horowbeck had nothing. Matthews a hit and an RBI, Nettles a hit, run, and an RBI, 2 hits for Drennan, a hit and a run for Santangelo, nothing for Lundgren. 5-9-0 to 2-8-2 for Somerset and Bridgeport, respectively. The Bluefish fall to 12-7 on the year, and we're waiting for the final count from the Long Island matchup. When we come back, we'll give you the rest of the post-game show right here on Bridgeport Bluefish. We'll be right back.
Is something you're actually looking for. When you search with the Real Yellow Pages, you get more than a contractor. You get a whole new curb appeal. It's not just getting directions to a dry cleaner with YP.com. It's rescuing an old favorite from the back of the closet. And it's more than finding a locksmith with YP.com on your mobile. It's getting to sleep in your own bed. Whatever it might be, there are more ways to search and more ways to find exactly what you're looking for with the Real Yellow Pages, YP.com, and YP.com on your mobile. Only from AT&T.
At Miller Lite, we believe if you're not choosing a light beer with more taste, you need to man up, not man down. Because up is way better than down. You don't tell someone sad that you're down. What's down, dog? A steamy pile and you just stepped in it. Your girlfriend's not wearing a push-down bra? It's called gravity, Isaac Nitwit. Can I be down front with you? All this down talk is bringing me down. So don't man down. Man up and choose a light beer with more taste. Triple hops brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Great beer, great responsibility.
Shark tooth, screwdriver, skeleton key, golf tee from the golf trip that you never went golfing on, grill fork, tuning fork, fork, the lucky fishing lure you snagged Alan with. Sorry, Alan. Drumsticks, chopsticks from the place you met that Dallas-based flight attendant. A motel key. Let's not talk about the motel key. A spark plug, a domino, a house key. How do these things make Miller Lite from a can even better? Find out May 2012. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Great beer, great responsibility.
Bluefish baseball is back on the air. The Bluefish fall by a score of 5-2. And they've lost 2 consecutive games, which for the first time all season has happened. Bluefish have been really successful this year against teams in the Atlantic League, but has hit a little bit of a wall against the squads from the Freedom Division. And it all comes down to whether or not the Bluefish would be able to execute against the starting pitchers. They did not do so much of that. More of the hits came from the bottom of the order towards the end of the contest. Look at the RBI. It's really Pedro Lopez and Eddie Rogers accounting for everything. Sometimes that cannot happen. Sometimes you need to have a different element. And Bridgeport winds up falling by that score of 5-2. We'll try to bring up the scores and summaries from around the Atlantic League in just a moment here. But it's been rather difficult for the Bluefish because today Raymar Diaz appeared to be back, and then he fell into a little bit of a rut afterwards. Just very difficult for Bridgeport to handle at this point, and when their offense goes cold, it really goes south. Because in the losses, they've just scored less than 2 runs a game. It's really what they have been doing. And when they've won more than 8 runs a game, it really comes down to the offensive productivity, and the pitching right now is what's really causing them a couple of issues at this point. Let's take a look at the scores around the rest of the Atlantic League, although it's not only plaguing the Bluefish. Right now, the Sugarland Skeeters giving the Ducks all kinds of issues. Sugarland leads 4-1 the bottom half of the 7th inning. Lancaster at Camden today from Campbell's Field. York and Southern Maryland from Regency Furniture Stadium coming up later today. Meanwhile, let's go to a quick update for the times of the Major League contest. Boston, Philadelphia, 7 o'clock tonight for the NBA. The Lakers and the Oklahoma City Thunder at 9:30 from the Midwest. One series tied at 1. That's coming up in Philadelphia. And Oklahoma City up 1-0 on the Los Angeles Lakers. In the NHL, Rangers and Devils, 8 o'clock Eastern from Madison Square Garden. And that's going to be a great series. No question about it. After one unfolding game 1 with the score being 0-0 at the end of 2 periods before the Rangers explode in the third. And you would expect 2 of the great goaltenders, Brodeur and Lundqvist, to play an important role in who wins those contests. In baseball, early game is LA Dodgers, San Diego Padres at 6:35. Everything else at least 7 o'clock or later than that. Boston, Tampa Bay, 7 o'clock from the Trop. New York Yankees, Toronto Blue Jays, 7:07. And, of course, you have the New York Mets and Cincinnati Reds. Yankees are on the road, and the Mets are at home taking on this Cincinnati squad. Thank you for tuning in to the Bluefish broadcast. I am Perry Miles. We'll be back again tomorrow, 7:05, first pitch from TD Bank Ballpark in Bridgewater, New Jersey. For more information about Bluefish baseball, go to the website, bridgeportbluefish.com, or you can send me an email to perrym86@gmail.com if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the broadcast. We know that it's very difficult for people to make it out, or at least to listen to the broadcast for the morning, because people do have jobs. But if you have a chance to listen in, do so. And you can go to bridgeportbluefish.com and click on the link, or be directed by the Bluefish Twitter page or the Bluefish YouTube page to go to the right spot. Send me an email if you have any questions or comments, and also follow me on Just Me, P. Miles. Just Me, P. Miles, my Twitter account. 7:05 first pitch tomorrow, 6:45 for the pregame show on BridgeportBluefish.com. For Perry Miles, have a wonderful evening, and we will see you tomorrow evening as the Bluefish are hoping to salvage a game in this 3-game series. They will be having one of their stout pitchers going to the mound tomorrow, as Bridgeport will send their left-hander Isaac Hess to the hill, as he is opposed by Doug Arguello. Hess 2-0, 4.42 against Arguello, 0-1 with a 7.84. Perry Miles here. We'll see you at 6:45 tomorrow night.